Welcome into the Unwritten Rule Podcast, your number one stop shop for all sports and media news. I'm your host, Monzi, and today I will be breaking down the North Dakota State versus Colorado football game. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel for more content. Starting off, Colorado won the game. Congrats to them. They won 31-26 against the FCS school, one of the top FCS schools. I will mention that, North Dakota State, who has won championships in the past years and has also found a way to get some backup quarterbacks into the NFL, such as Carson Wentz and Trey Lance. But aside from that, Colorado, this problem, and this is Deion's main problem right here. Deion's main problem is the staff itself, but what doesn't make it any better is when the players go and mess up too. So it's not only he has to deal with the problems with how the team is being ran, aside from him running it, of course, he has to deal with how the players are on the field too. The players are not physical at all. Up front, on both sides of the ball, the players aren't physical. Now, starting off the game, I did feel like Shedeur had plenty of time in the pocket, and I felt like he had a chance to make some good throws, which he did do at the beginning of the game. Secondly, you guys go out there. The first thing that y'all do on defense is play man coverage. Like, not no simple zone. Just keep it simple for right now. You go out there and play straight man coverage across the board. And also, Deion, I got a problem with you in this note. You're a defensive back, one of the greatest defensive backs of all time. It doesn't matter if it's college. It doesn't matter if it's NFL. It doesn't matter if it's fucking Canadian football. Deion, you have always been the best. One of the best DBs. We've always considered you to be the best or one of the best. But why is your defensive back group the weakest group on the football field? Aside from the linemen, the weakest group on the football field was 100% the defensive back. Like, that defensive back group that game was just horrible. There's no reason for it. They weren't physically sound. They had no awareness. If the play got past the linebackers, it was bound to go for 10 yards plus. Now, people want to talk about how good Travis Hunter did in the game. Yes, he did good, but it's an FCS school. When he has to go against some real higher level talent, he's not having 3 touchdowns a game, guys. And he might get bullied on defense. Because it was, I'm not lying, I know it was a little bit of holding going on, but he was getting bullied on defense. We got to call it how we see it. He was getting bullied. But it's not the first time I've ever seen this. I seen him getting bullied before at Jackson State in one of the bowl games before. So it's nothing new for me whenever I watch him play. So, he's a good player. He is the best player on Colorado. And probably the second best player is, aside from the quarterback, is probably Jimmy Horn. And I like Jimmy Horn a lot out there, but it's hard to get opportunities when the play calling from Pat Shurmur is mediocre. Pat Shurmur, you got to be a little better than that, man. Like, you call better plays for the Giants than that, Pat Shurmur. Yes, Pat Shurmur was a coach for the Giants. See, this is what I'm saying. You got all this NFL level talent as far as coaching and mentoring these players, but none of these players, why do they look so sloppy? Why do they look like they just don't understand the game? That's what it looks like. It looks like a whole bunch of these players are on the field and they don't understand the game. That's Colorado's problem. And like I told you guys about 2 weeks ago, I told y'all that you can't go by wins with this team because I don't think that this team is a winning football team. You need to go off of physicality, how they go out there and compete, and how they went out there physically and how they went out there competing. They didn't look like a team that was ever ready to play against anybody. Now, do you see now that you've seen what you just seen out of this first game, and it is the first game, so let's not go overboard. But after you just seen what you've seen after this first game, do you think that Colorado is even close to being ready to play Utah? You can't be for real if you think. I don't even think they'll beat West Virginia. If they do play West Virginia, they're not ready at all. Arizona and Utah right now in my head are already hanging 60 on Colorado. The way they came out there, and I don't think Colorado would even get to hang a chance to hang 20 on them. They'll be lucky to hang 10 against Utah. The Buffs got a lot to build on, man, but it has to start with Deion. I think it's time for the cameras to go off. I understand that that's y'all's MO. Y'all want people to see a little bit. You know, you want to do something for your kids, have your kids go out, get out there and do something, get some money. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I don't knock you as a father. I don't knock you as a coach. But after that performance, Dion, it's time to look at yourself in the mirror. You guys ain't played no football in a long time, man. And Dion, you've been around young talents. You've been around young adults. You were the head coach, or you was running the Under Armour All-American games for what, 4 or 5 years at least? So you've been around the kids. Plus, you were the head coach for your son's teams in prep school. So when y'all go out there and play like this, man, I just don't understand. I just don't understand the coaching in this, Dion. You got to have way better situational football skills than this, man. Way better situational football skills than this. At the end of the game, you're letting the quarterback still run outside the pocket. He's able to extend plays side to side. I don't think that the Dylan Raiola kid is going to be, I don't think he's Mahomes. I don't think he's the second coming of Mahomes. But the way y'all left that boy Cam Miller in the pocket like that, running around the field like that, I think Raiola could do anything he wants against y'all as a freshman. The defense is horrible. There was times I seen y'all do good against the run. I will commend you on that. You did hold the run down for the most part. But the secondary, I don't think man coverage is meant for this team whatsoever. Don't call it no more. Don't call it. They don't get a zero blitz. They don't get no man coverage. They don't get no cover 2 man. They don't get no cover 1 hole. They don't get none of that. These guys are off in the secondary. Off. They are not a group. And that's one aspect of the team that you need to actually be good as a group. All right? That's one aspect that you need them to be good as a group. I did not like what I seen out of Colorado at all. Got to be better. Got to get better. But it's early, and you guys will get to that point. But you guys now have to understand that it's about the whole team. It's not about Shedeur. It's not about Shiloh. It's not about Dion. It's not about Travis Hunter. It's about the whole team. The only players, peep this. Now, I'm not going to say the only players, but the main players that they always record and televise were the only players that were ready. For the most part. I mean, I did see Shiloh mess up at the end and go crazy and, lay a hat on somebody that was out of bounds. So be it. Who cares? But those are the only ones that look ready. Jimmy Horn, Shiloh a little bit. I mean, he made his open field tackles, but in coverage, I don't expect that boy to ever cover. That's why they let him run around the field at free safety, because he can't do anything else with structure. Honestly, if you were being honest, do you really even think Shiloh should be starting in the secondary? Like, let's be for real. Is Shiloh really the best safety on that football team? I cannot tell. He's running around that field worse than Jamal Adams. Worse. At least Jamal Adams is going to real life hit something during the play. He might hurt himself and give himself a concussion and then cuss out the trainers on the side. But I don't know. Shiloh didn't look like he was meant to be on that field at all. And then the running back, I only seen a small glimpse of the running back. You guys try to force some runs. The run game still isn't there. Still isn't there. You got rid of the Edwards kids. I think his name was Dylan Edwards. You let him go. He transferred, and I don't know why y'all even let him walk. The run game is not the running back's fault. The O-line is still not what we said that it could be, Dion. That's why we said you can't just get rid of players. You actually got to keep some guys who actually know the system and that know that they can build off of what they can do the next season. But you didn't do that, Dion. You think that you can ship somebody out and go get somebody else to replace them. It don't work like that. Your philosophy is out of order when it comes to this. This isn't the NFL. These guys don't know how, not all these guys know how to play. You would think that because they're playing D1 college football, but not all of them are on a high level of learning in football. Not everybody has the IQ of Shadur. Not everybody has the IQ of Travis Hunter. Deion, you're the head coach. You're meant to give them at least some type of ground. Some type of ground. You guys didn't play no clean football. You guys got a lot to work on the drawing board. You can have Ed Reed talk every single week. Hell, you can have Ed Reed bring Clinton Portis to talk to y'all. It still wouldn't work, man. You can call Brian Urlacher. It still wouldn't work, man. You can call Tom Brady 30 times. It still wouldn't work. You need to better your coaching, Deion. This loss is on, I mean, not this loss, but this poor performance is on you. You got to do better, man. I expect more from a Hall of Fame football player. And I know you're not a Hall of Fame coach by any means, nor do I see you making it to the NFL by any means. But the stardom stuff, all that stuff has to go. You guys need to work on playing as a team first and playing physical, competing at a high level. And then we can start talking about all the rest of the stuff afterwards. That's when we can start talking about the wins, the performances from other players. But right now, you guys need to be playing like a team. Y'all ain't playing like a team at all. But hats off to I believe it was that for North Dakota State, it was the coach's first game. I think his last name was like Polak or something. Shouts out to them. They played a good game. They had a great game plan. Obviously, like I said, man, not everybody. The coach was able to help the players out, and the players were able to help the coaches out in that football game. That was a team. They played like a team. They just didn't have all the talent in the world to match up for what was going on. If they had a good corner, I mean, obviously they could move the corner around and they could work from there. But they didn't have any corners that could for real guard Travis Hunter or anybody else with speed. But I expected way more in the passing game from Colorado, and I expected some good running, but I didn't see none of that. And it started all in the trenches, and then it ultimately went to coaching. And it's just like Deion doesn't have a way to snap them boys back on. So he's going to have to find that switch for those guys. All the coaches are going to have to find that switch. Position coaches, however it may be. So, the team, for the most part, they play good. They're very level-headed of a team. They're not just, versus how they have fun behind the cameras and stuff like that. But, we'll see what they can do as the season progresses. But I don't know. Like I said, you can't go off of wins with this team. They're not winners yet. They need to play like a team first. But that's all for me, folks. I appreciate y'all tuning in to the podcast. Wish y'all nothing but the best. Peace.